Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Today I'm here to talk about a very, very relevant topic for the youngsters. And since I have some young moms over here, so they can also understand from the perspective of the children, and inshallah we'll be having their participation as well in the session. If I ask you, how many of you are still having your childhood buddy with you through all these years? And how many of you have been like changing friends? So you do remember your old friends, but you are now always with some new friends around. Okay. And how many of you have same parents since the day you have been born? The important thing for us to understand is that so many people who are very dear to us in our life, they might be with us for a couple of years or part of our life, and they might not be with us. But our parents are always going to be there with us through thick and thin, through all highs and lows, through our happy moments and sad moments. And there is no way we can kick them out of our life. We can bang the door at them, we can give them attitude, we can talk to our friends and say, my mom doesn't understand me, I hardly get to sit with my dad, I don't have a relationship with them, or I am having relationship problems with them. But at the end of the day, the important thing is they are still there. And what are different scenarios that we see? A lot of time, moms are totally exhausted. And what they're doing is, when they're trying to talk to their kids, they sometimes have to speak at the top of the voice to actually communicate whatever they want them to do. And the kids, oh my God, they are cool dudes. They want to have their own lifestyle. They don't care. They say, what's your problem, mom or dad? This is my life, and I need to spend it the way I should. Let us try to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran and Sunnah. We find that in Surah Ahqaf, verse number 15, Allah ta'ala says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given nasiha to the human beings. What do? They do ihsan with their parents. And what is ihsan? It is not tit for tat. Like sometimes when you're talking to our parents and your mom tells you, I did this for you, did this for you, and your dad is doing this for you, and I'm exhausting my resources, my own self, my emotional self for you, and you're like, kya ihsan kiya? Paida na karte. Kyun paida kiya? Or sometimes we don't say it, but it does reflect in our style. Like, it's not my fault. They gave birth to me. So they're responsible for taking care of my needs. And I'm like desperate for this thing or that thing, and they are not doing those things for me. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about parents, He says, do not do tit for tat. Go for ihsan. And ihsan is, if you open the dictionary, Arabic dictionary, and look at the root word and the meaning, it is coming from husn. And husn is what? Beauty. And the relationship has to be so beautiful. It has to be like, wow, out of this world feeling. It's like, when you're sitting with your friends, you shouldn't be going like, she's so lucky, her mom is so understanding. Your counterpart, the other friend, is thinking the same thing about you probably. Because she's thinking, she's so lucky she has mom like this. Thinking the grass is greener on the other pasture, not mine. Beauty means we have to think this is the best relationship I have. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us all the details. Like why? She took care of you from that nausea when she conceived, from all the sicknesses. She put her life at stake, and ultimately she gave birth to you. As a pediatrician, I can tell you, when the baby is born, she is least pushed about whether she's bleeding to death, whether there is someone who is taking care of her or not, or whatever is happening to her. The first thing she asks is, how is my baby? Is my baby fine? And if there is a delay of even few milliseconds from the doctor, she is screaming and she is in severe panic. She's like, doctor, mera bachcha, theek hai, baby theek hai, how come I don't hear you responding? So the first thing you have to do is tell her, mashallah, your baby is fine, crying, healthy. And then, she wants to just sleep and relax. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, even that part of her is so important for you to understand. How she gave birth to you, and even later on, how she took care of you. There is no way you can pay her off in your lifetime and even afterwards for that. No way. Another verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 83, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advice gave to Bani Israel, and same commandment comes for us as well. The first thing, that do not try partners with Allah ta'ala. La ta'budu illallah. And then what? Wabil walidaini ihsana. Again the same concept. You will never find out in Quran, and sometimes you're not in a mood, you're going through hard times, bad times, your parents need to understand, you're going to be rough and tough with them. The Quran always says, no, you have to do ihsan with your parents. And afterwards we find out, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا, be nice and kind to other people around. And what do? If I tell you to take a leaf and put it on the water, what kind of ripple will it produce? Very mild. Let's look at another ripple. This is a ripple of probably a stone, something which has weightage. Why am I showing you this ripple? Why? Because something which has a weight, which is heavier, in the inside, the ripple effect that is going to go outwards is going to be heavier. And what we find out from Quran is, the ripple has to begin first with the relationship with Allah Ta'ala. Second, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Third, our parents. Fourth, our all relatives. And ultimately going down to human beings. Our ripple effect is other way around. You know what we do? Let's say you're out in a public place and somebody just pushes you accidentally and says, oh, I'm so sorry. What do you say? How do you respond? It's okay. Now remember the same situation at home. You are walking by in the kitchen, making yourself coffee or something, and your brother or sister accidentally pushes you and says, I'm sorry. What do you say? It's okay. And give your brother or sister a big hug. We scream, we shout, and that is why we are not able to create that harmony in the society. Because our ripple effect is so weak, so poor. It's like that feather. It's like that leaf which goes under the water, drops there, produces no effect. We want that impact coming like a stone. Your strong relationship with Allah Ta'ala, and then your strong connection with the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then moving on to your parents. And then to the rest of the family. And then to the other human beings. Unless you go that way, trust me, you will never be able to bridge this gap. Because there are a lot of times when our near and dear ones give us very hard time. You cannot cope with it anymore. You cannot manage those relationships anymore. And that is the test. So when you are able to handle the people around you, take care of them, develop beautiful relationship with them. So when you move out in your jobs, with other relatives, later on you get married, you have in-laws. So you are able to develop beautiful relationship with everyone because you have actually developed a habit of having a stronger ripple effect at home. Verse from Surah Al-Isra. When they reach old age, do not even say oof to them. What is oof? That stingy feeling in your heart. Allah, my mom, she starts her lecture again. My dad, he starts with his old age stories again. I've heard him so many times. Kitni dafa sunu. That kind of oof that we have. Okay, don't tell me now, my friend is here, and while my mom is serving us pizza, she will again ask her, beta kitne marks aaye hain? Beta tumne aur kya kiya hai? And you are looking at your mom, you're like, Mom, leave us, cut out, we need to be with our friends. Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the Lord's pleasure is in the parents' pleasure, and the Lord's anger is in the parents' anger. Sometimes we are so energetically involved in dawah activities, and we are like, I'm doing it solely for the pleasure of Allah. But your mother is not happy, or she is sick, or she wants your attention at home, and you hardly have any time for her. A man said, O Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what rights can parents demand from their children? And he replied, they are your paradise, they are your hell. It is so important. Those human beings which we take so much for granted. I'll move on to what are the things we can do. Because we know we have to take care of our parents. And we want to do it. But we are living with a huge loaded guilt that we are not actually able to work on those relationships. Now, what are the things which annoy us about our parents? My parents are always comparing me. Raise your hands. My parents are never satisfied. Raise your hands. Okay, my parents are embarrassing. Raise your hands. My parents are overprotective. Raise your hands. My parents are always fighting. You have to remember the psyche of your parent. For your parent, you are the most important human being on this earth. For example, if I have any mom sitting over here in this whole crowd, she'll just keep looking at my bacha, meri beti. And she'll think to herself that you are the most beautiful human being on this earth. When I ask something, she will be like, Bolo, Bolo. And then on the way home, she'll keep telling you, you knew the answer. Why didn't you speak out? Why didn't you say something? Why would you do that? Why would she say that? Because she's so proud of you. She loves you immensely. And she wants to show the whole world what a genius baby she has given birth to. And she knows that her expectations are right. But we see it as a bugging thing. We see it as, something I cannot tolerate. Or my mother is never happy. Or my mother doesn't like anything. Or my dad keeps complaining about so many things. There is no one on earth who would have the highest expectation from you. Your boss, if you're working somewhere, your teacher, if you're studying somewhere, you give them 2 bad projects, they'll kick you out. They'll just label you. And they'll just say, you're done, you're finished. But your mom, she'll be after your life. She will give you tuitions, coachings, take you to places. But she'll be like, no, I'm not giving up on my baby. This is not possible, that everyone can do it and my kid cannot do it. That's how parents are. When they're doing this thing, you need to go home and hug your mom. And if you have your mom over here, just hug her right now. Just hug her for all these things and tell her that thank you, mom, for all these bugging things. I would like you to do a small activity over here, the hand wrestling. Do it in the pairs and let's see who is going to beat the other one. Let's repeat it. This time, you will make sure you both win. The other hand is not going to drop. Which one gave you a better feel? First one or the second one? Second one. The second one. Why? Some of you won in the first one. They were like, I won. But how come the second one gave you a better feel?
When you do good to someone, you feel good.
Yeah, because when you are trying to have an upper edge, given any given situation, for a few seconds you do feel good. That I beat this person. But after a while, when you look at the other person's face, you're like, it doesn't look good. But when you're trying to work as a team, it gives you a good feel. Why do we do this activity? When we are working with our parents, it is not about winning. It's about that companionship. Sometimes they will resist us. Sometimes we will resist them. Like we should let them do something for us with very hard or harsh or bad feelings. It should be a win-win situation. We always have to see, are they with me? Let's say sometimes we push them so much around the edge, they let us do whatever we want to do. कि मुझे जाना ही है. All my friends are I'm going. I don't care. We don't eat food for like 2 days and our moms allow us. But at the end of the day, who is happy? Are we happy? No, we have our way. But we're not even happy. But when we sort of negotiate in a way, when they understand what we want, we understand what they want, and we compromise on something, and they compromise on something, and both of us understand what we are compromising on. So we cherish that relationship. This is what you have to remember. Whenever you are trying to negotiate something with your parents, you have to see whether you are throwing their hand down or you are keeping it together. And how will you do it? Inshallah, I'll give you some tips for that. There are certain withdrawals in any given relationship. The relationships are built on not withdrawals, but on the things that you do which will nurture and flourish them. So I'm talking about certain withdrawals. We assume I know everything about my mom. Like for example, it's Eid, or there is a festivity going on in your family, cousin's marriage or something. Your mother takes you to best of the boutique or someplace and you buy a nice dress for yourself. and then you are having fun, matching shoes, jewelry, and whatnot. And ultimately you come home and you ask your mom, Mom, what are you wearing? And she says, वो जो मैंने पहना था ना वो last year किसी की शादी पे, so I'm wearing the same dress. And we are like, Mom, you never make new clothes. And your mom just gives you a nice little smile and she says, हाँ कोई बात नहीं, I'm fine with that dress. Why do you think she's not wearing the new dress? Because sometimes we sit with our friends and say, my mom is so stingy. पता नहीं क्या मेरी अम्मी को कपड़े भी नहीं बनाती ज़्यादा. She keeps wearing the same dress over and over again, and we assume. I'm asking you, why do you think she is not making a new cloth when all your sisters, brothers, and everyone is doing it? Or if she's making it, she's not buying the kind you want. You're like, Mom, ye le. And your mom says, "Ye bahut mehenga hai, ye nahi maine lena." Why? She is trying to manage the budget. She's giving you the best lot,